Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this new series of Stellaris. This is the Apocalypse DLC. I have got a preview from Paradox, thanks guys, very much appreciate that. And we are playing with the Cherry update, so this is as hot as we have access to, essentially. The game itself is released on the 22nd of February, so that's in 3 days' time from now. And yeah, I will be streaming this when the embargo lifts. But I thought I should try and get some of the changes explained and just go through basically starting up an empire, because when the embargo goes up, I'll be doing a multiplayer game and I may not have quite as much time to actually go through and like outline the differences and what's possible and how things play. So we're just going to go and jump in here, start a new game. I played a very quick test game yesterday with Burleth's Brewers, but we're going to create a new race because I have got an idea of what I want to do here. So, first of all, I don't think any of the humanoid portraits, or any of the portraits in general, have changed. We'll come back to that. The thing I want to look at first of all are the traits. I don't believe any of this has changed. So, the empire creation is essentially the same. I think there is one, maybe two. No, there are 3 types of ethics or governments which are new, but the traits and things are the same. So actually, let's go and take a look at those first of all. That's government and ethics, here we are. So, the types of government are all the same. I think that these are essentially the same, though some of the modifiers will have changed. So, for example, xenophobes. Starbase influence cost has been reduced, and that's important. Starbases are very important now. They are how you expand your space. It's not so much done through border range. In fact, I think border range as a concept is gone. You now build outposts, which cost influence to build them first of all, but they do not cost influence to maintain anymore. So you're going to be constantly like building up influence, spending it, building it up, spending it, building it up, spending it, over and over again like that. But Corvée system, I think, was there already. Cutthroat politics, core sector systems. Right, let's see if we can find some of the new ones. Post-apocalyptic, this is one of the new ones. Your capital starts out as a tomb world. You gain the survivor trait, granting tomb world habitability plus 70%, and you have a 10% extra leader lifespan, which is interesting because it means that you can actually inhabit tomb worlds. That's one that will cost 1 point. Where are the other ones? Barbaric Despoilers. This society holds few things sacred. To fight is to live, and the strongest may seize whatever they covet. Considering my name, I might well try these guys. So you cannot form defensive pacts, cannot form migration treaties, cannot guarantee independence, and cannot join federation. However, you do have the despoilation casus belli on all neighbouring empires, and CBEs are now far more important. So for example, you can claim systems and go after them rather than just declaring war and then kind of after the fact taking the system. You set up the claims, you fight the war, and then you get it that way. Haven't actually fought a war yet, so I don't know exactly how that changes, though I have been fighting with pirates. So combat has changed slightly. Every faction starts off with all 3 kinds of weapon now. So you start off with missiles, projectiles, and lasers. You don't just pick one at the start. And then obviously the really big change is everyone is now hyperlane. They've got rid of completely warp and wormhole. Although wormhole kind of still exists. It's not a starting technology anymore. Right, what are the other ones? Beacon of Liberty. Was this a new one? I feel like this is a new one. No, I don't think it is. Corporate Dominion. This is a new one. This is what I might well use in the multiplayer game. So trading hubs produce 1 additional energy. Trading hubs are a module that you can build in your new starbases. And they start with a space trading technology. I have no idea what that does. And you're able to build private colony ships. Sounds interesting? Don't know exactly how trade is incorporated in the game. They haven't said anything about it in the developer diary, so I suspect it's not a huge thing. We'll see. I think these are all the same. Fanatic Purifiers were definitely there already. Imperial Cult was already there. Idealistic Foundation, yes. Mechanist, yes. Meritocracy, Natural Zeal. I'm sure there is one more. There is. Utopia one. Have I gone past it already? So there is one which allows you to start on a 25 size Gaia world. Is that the... no. With perfection? No. Although... is that a new one? Cannot have rivals, cannot form defensive pacts, cannot form migration treaties, cannot guarantee independence, cannot join federation, can only have tributary subjects, and cannot infiltrate primitives. But you get a bunch more unity, population growth, citizen population happiness, and your edicts last longer. Oh, for goodness sake, where is the Gaia world? It's not a trait, is it? I don't think so. No, that wouldn't make sense. It's not a trait. Alright, where is this thing? Darn it. I know it's here somewhere. So there is one of these, which means that you start on a Gaia world. It's a 25 size Gaia world, but you dislike living everywhere. There it is, life seeded. Homeworld is a Gaia world, size 25. Habitability preference is set to Gaia world preference, making other types of planets undesirable. So it's much harder to expand outside of the Gaia world, but you start off, your homeworld is this gargantuan, crazy, awesome thing. So yeah. I think for this playthrough we are going to be doing the barbaric despoilers, so we need to have either fanatic militarist or militarist. We also need to have authoritarian or xenophobe. So I think we're almost certainly going to go like fanatic militarist, and then let's see, authoritarian is slave resource production and monthly influence, which is interesting. That's possibly what we're going to use. Or xenophobe, which was the Starbase influence cost and the claim influence cost. We don't need claims because we have the despoiler CB. Where's it gone? Oh, we haven't selected it yet. So I think we're going to go with authoritarian, because what barbaric despoilers allows you to do is raid. Raiding unlocks the raiding bombardment stance, which allows us to abduct population from besieged planets and resettle them in our own world. So we basically steal population from other people. So having them set to slave will probably work in our favor. Plus we get more influence this way, which means we can have more star bases and we can do more claims and things like that. Also, it should be noted that leaders do not cost influence anymore. They now cost energy. So energy is slightly more important. One thing I did notice from my playthrough is it felt like there were more resources in the world, though that could have been just me getting lucky. I think we possibly want Distinguished Admiralty. That would allow us to get better ships. Or Mining Guilds, which allow us to get more minerals. Slaver Guilds. Slave Food Production plus 10. Slave Mineral Production plus 10. You know what? We're going to go with Slaver Guilds. So we're going to go all out. Viking Raider. We're going crazy. Huzzah. What do we want to look like? It can't be a machine, because that sends you over to the machine abilities and things. Reptilian? Possibly? Avian? Possibly. Is that like a raven? Not really. Anthropod. I mean, these guys could be kind of your space Vikings. Anyone else more suited? Clearly Space Vikings. I mean, those guys are just terrifying. What's that? Interesting. A bit different. And then the Plantoids.
I don't know.
Could be Groot. I am Groot, the Viking. You know what? We're going to be the Groot Viking. That's more of an eco-warrior thing. No. I mean, we could just go as the dwarves, but it's a bit of an obvious one. The cats, the Mershan, or whatever they're called in Galactic Civilization, or was it Master of Orion? Master of Orion. Reptilian, no. Oh, we could be the gecko. No, I think it makes the most sense to be either this guy or this guy. We're going to go with this guy. We are going to call ourselves Mordlings. Oops, Mordling. Mordlings. Mordling. Alright, and then name list. Gosh, I don't know. Stronghold, Armada. Yeah, that sounds good. Traits. Right, so what traits do our main race want to have? We'll probably want to have something relatively aggressive. So possibly industrious. Possibly adaptive. Well, no, we're going to be relying on other people. So we could have slow breeders. So we're bringing in more population. And then we could be like strong, or even very strong, so our armies just kick ass and take names. So we're not using slave armies. I kind of like to have the mineral one, industrious, but we can't afford it. So we could do industrious and strong, rather than very strong. So that gives us plus 15, and then plus 20% combat. You know what? I like this. So we're industrious, we're strong, but we're slow breeders, which means we rely on slave labour. Although industrious, no, we're going to be relying on other people to do that for us. We're going to be very strong. Like, these guys are going to be the soldiers. Absolutely. Alright, let's find that again. Very strong. So we're just going to go and punch people. Be charismatic. Make other species happy to be living alongside us. No, this will do. Right, what kind of world are we on? I generally like leaning towards the Alpine ones. This is going to be Midgard. Star name, Midgard. It's confusing if you don't call them the same thing. See the appearance. We need like a hive of villainy. Or just something that looks like it could shoot stuff. So we'll go with that one. We've already set you up. Right, we do need to choose our government type. I think this is either going to be imperial or dictatorial. I mean, dictatorial makes more sense. We're a bandit kingdom. Yeah, we're a bandit kingdom. I like it. Advisor. Alright, so this is something I did not notice before, and I'm pretty sure that this one already existed, the Diplomat. Let me see if this is the right one.
Hyperdrive primed.
No,
all
the other one.
systems ready. Knowledge.
This.
Discovery. Compassion. Integrity. And hot tea.
And hot tea! This person knows me. We are playing as the Diplomat, even though it makes absolutely no sense for what we're doing. We are simply going to be the Vikings. And we are adjective Viking, I guess. Viking. Right, what is our flag going to be? That is a good question. Is there a skull and crossbones? I kind of doubt there is. We could be the heart. Just make no sense. Dominion. Here we go. Or domination, even. We could be the fist. Grr, power. Sword of the stars. We are a kingdom. Actually, the wings would work. It's like wings of the raven. Human? We could be the skull, but I think skulls are a bit eh. We're not an imperialist, so we're not going to go with those. Ornate, I doubt. Nah. Paradox. No. Cthulhu. Again, skull. I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of it. That's just an evil person with a shiny forehead. Any of these? No. It could be that one. With a bit of imagination, could be something evil. I think we're going to go with one of these. Sword of the Star. I mean, that one's a bit too goody-goody. Could be the... Ah, here we go. Flying sword. I like it. Red and black. That seems appropriate. Ship appearance is going to be avian. So we're looking sleek and awesome. We are going to, of course, be Mordred. We are a male. Ruler name is going to be Thane. And for the female is also going to be Thane. With Thane Mordred. Color variant. Oh yeah, I want sparkly bits. And then we need a different background room. Something suitably piratey. That's pretty piratey. That'll do. Okay, and with that, the Vikings are born. Done. Alright, so now we are on to the selection of the galaxy. So galaxy size is just going to be medium, elliptical, that's fine. AI empires 9, 2 advanced AI starts, 2 fallen empires, 2 marauder empires. So the marauder empires are one of the new things. Marauder empires are kind of like us. They are pirates. They are going to fight amongst themselves and raid their neighbors and things like that. I think you can hire them and tell them to attack other people. I don't know. I haven't met them yet. But that is one of the things. Tech tradition costs the same. So you can now kind of modify the costs of everything. Mid-game start year, end-game start year, AI aggressiveness, difficulty, placement, advanced neighbors, hyperlane density. So you can change how many hyperlanes are in the world. Because remember, everything is hyperlaned. Nothing else except for hyperlanes. Alright, let's do this. 15 minutes to create a whole new race. Sorry. In the eons since the primitive Mordling communities took shape in the rugged mountain valleys of Midgard, our civilization has spread and prospered. I should have called myself Mordgard. I might change that name. It is the ancient right of the strong to dominate the weak, and our society was built around this premise. If you cannot protect what is yours, then it belongs to whomever can take it. In this way, the strongest and most clever of us rose to power while the rest were forced in line. Now, after the discovery of the hyperlane network, the finest minds of the Vikings have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp, and yes, I'm going to change your name to Mordgard. There we are. Oh, and the system. Mordgard. There we are. So, as you can see, hyperlanes. Everything is interconnected, and it does not look like there are going to be many cutoff zones. So, choke points, I'm kind of seeing that is going to be a major one. But otherwise, this is going to be kind of convoluted, which plays into our strengths, because we want to be constantly fighting other people. But if we were one of the more turtly, one of the more defensive nations, that would be very bad. This is also going to be a nice, like, hidey place, because you basically need to hold these two systems, and you are completely secure. Interesting. The other thing that should be pointed out is the borders. They have made these far more clear, far more accessible, and far easier to see. This big, thick red border is going to be the same for everyone that we meet. Obviously not red, that's because our colours are red and black. Technology functions in much the same way, although obviously some technologies will do different things. And military technologies, I think, are actually going to be slightly more important because you need to equip your starbases with them. I'm going to take the research speed because that is usually a pretty strong one to start with. Off-world trading company. That allows us to have better trade hubs. No, that just allows us to build trade hubs. Wait. Trade hubs +2. Off-world trading company. Starbase building. Right, yeah, so that is a module which you can build on your starbase, which increases the strength of the trading hubs. I will show you that in a minute. I think I'm going to go for the hydroponics, though, so we can get a bigger population. And then more bigger, better guns. Oh, the other thing should be mentioned is they've completely changed how armor works. Armor is now basically a third type of hit points. You have shields on the top. Once the shields are gone, then you chew through the armor. Once the armor is gone, then you're onto the hull. Armor does not provide damage resistance for the hull anymore. It's just straight up more hit points. So you can see armor hit points +65 for the small version, for example. I'm going to go with more guns, though. We want to shoot people more better. The other thing I would say in this game, having played just a little bit of it so far, is having more civilian ships is now far more important. The first thing that I should point out is if I select Galathor's Armada here and tell them to move somewhere, oh, we can't because it hasn't been explored. The only thing that can explore now are science ships, which is very important. So you probably do want 2 or 3 science ships just exploring the world so you can actually, you know, move through it later. So we're going to grab one of these. We're just going to start exploring systems. We're not even going to survey them just yet. I just want to see what's out there. Mostly so I can find some prey. But also, I just kind of want to see what's out there. So we're going to set you up to just go exploring. And we are also, I think, going to set up building of another one. So this is another of the big changes. If you click on the planet and then click on the spaceport, there are no warships. These are only your civilian ships. This is what your planet can essentially build. And we want another science ship. So we're going to queue one of those up. Then you've also got the shipyard, or you've got the space stations, which is under the shipyards tab. This is where you build the warships. The shipyards are now a starbase, which you start off as an outpost, then you upgrade it over time, and it gets stronger and stronger, and you can start adding modules to it. So here we have this starbase. It has a 422 combat strength, which is okay in the beginning, but will very quickly be eclipsed, and that's when you start adding defense platforms, which are modules specifically located around your defensive structure and add more combat strength. So for example, if we build the defense platform, which you can modify, it will add an additional... Okay, it's not actually going to say how much it will add, but it will add extra combat strength to you. And you can also upgrade them all at once, you can disband them, all of that good stuff. Then the starport itself, as we are currently, you can upgrade it to a star hold for 750 minerals. You can build different modules and different buildings. So the module we have at the moment is the shipyard. That's the important one because it allows you to actually build warships. So you always start with a shipyard. And then you have another module port, and this is where the trading hub comes in. Do you remember one of the technologies was to make trading hubs provide more energy? So you can have your starbases producing energy. Or you can have more shipyards, so you can build 2 ships at a time, or possibly even more if you have more modules. An anchorage, which gives you more naval capacity. This is how you expand the complete size of your fleet. Or you can add gun or missile batteries if you want to further expand your defences. This will add 2 medium-sized weapon slots to the starbase. It will cost upkeep, and it will also increase your starbase by 10% more hull points and 10% more armour points. So, bearing that in mind, you probably don't want... Actually, I wonder if those are modified by the defence platforms. Because you probably then don't want shields in your defence platforms, because those are not modified by those. Interesting. And then buildings. So currently we have crew quarters, which reduces the docked ship upkeep. That's basically the same. If we click on that, we can see the other one. So we can have a hydroponics bay, which is 3 food. You can have a resource silo, which increases the amount of minerals and energy you can store. The target uplink computer, which increases your weapons range by 50%. So that's pretty good if you actually want it to engage with other people. Communications jammer, that will decrease the sublight speed of enemy fleets in this area and make them less likely to actually get away. So disengagement is now another thing in battle. Your ships will not just fight until they die. They will run away, like one at a time. Which means that if you lose a battle, you haven't just lost your entire fleet. They'll run away, they'll regroup somewhere, and then you can repair them and you can get back into the fight. Plus, because there will be outposts everywhere, systems are generally more defensive, more defensible. Plus, with choke points because of hyperlanes, it has radically changed how warfare will work in this game. And that's something I'm really definitely hoping that we get to explore with the Viking kind of playstyle. Then the last one is the disruption field generator, which reduces enemy ship shield hit points by 20%. I'm not going to build any of these just yet. We don't have a shortage of energy, and this is the early game, so I kind of want to build more mineral stations. So we're just going to... Oops. Construction. Where's not being built minerals yet? That tiny little moon. Build me a mining station there. And that mining station was cheaper, so we must have the space miner, which is good. So our leader is a space miner, which means construction ship build cost is reduced, which is nice because we're going to need another 1 or 2 of those. And mining station is also reduced. And science ship build cost reduced. This is like the best possible start. That's ridiculous. Cheaper mining stations, cheaper constructors, cheaper science ships, and faster anomaly research. Okay, that is a ridiculously good start. Fantastic. Right, now we can finally unpause. So our ships will start going to do their things. We're not going to send our combat fleet out because they can't do anything just yet. Oh, and also we should probably take a look at what our planet does. So the planet itself hasn't changed very much. Ooh, we have some slaves. Interesting, I didn't realise that we would actually start with slaves. So that's good, because the slaves will increase the amount of minerals and food we're producing. So here, producing 7 because of all the various modifiers we've stacked on there. They're very strong. Chattel, slavery, authoritarian, slaver guilds. Nice! Okay, and also the clearing of tiles here is entirely energy now. So energy will be like necessary in that. Our population is going to grow slowly though, so we do kind of need to find an enemy as soon as possible, really, so that we can go and beat them up and steal their people and have them work for us for the great glory of the Vikings. Huzzah! Right, so research is ongoing. Ship designer I don't think has changed very much. I will, however, create my own. We're going to have this as the... what am I going to call these? Little go-kart. Save. So the little go-kart is going to be what I build myself. They have changed computers again. So at the moment we only have the swarm tactic computer, but you can actually change how your ships fight now. So instead of destroyers always being kind of doing what destroyers did in the previous update, you can now choose various things. I haven't actually had any destroyers yet, so I can't say exactly. But corvettes, for example, can have the swarm tactic, which means they have better evasion and better fire rate. Or they can have the something else, which gives them tracking and something. I don't know. I was most interested in evasion because corvettes are fast, nimble. They're kind of supposed to be there just to absorb fire. At least that's how I use them.
Completed.
Mordgard's finished another spaceship, so let's go ahead and recruit another scientist to be the leader of this one. Anomaly research speed and fail risk reduction. That sounds really strong for that. Although we are going to need more energy, so we'll wait. Construction ship still building. That is fine. Are there any buildings that we could be doing here? So we could start building a science lab for you. That sounds reasonable. And there is a world here, an alpine world. Needs to be surveyed. Actually, what skill do you have? Just lifespan. So actually, if you start surveying it, then we'll have this science ship going to explore, but we'll need some more money. Oh, more energy. So we'll just increase the speed. What is our governor doing? Alright, so we've got the new mineral thing. We'll need to wait a little longer. Governor, governor, governor. Where are the governors? Plants and sectors, there it is. You are an intellectual, which means that you will be boosting science output. That is fine. So this construction ship, I want to build another mining station, because that will be the energy, meaning that we can get our energy production up and running rather more quickly. And as you can see, there's already quite a few resources in the area next to us. Now remember, borders don't just naturally expand to cover territories. There are ways of doing it, so if we built a thing like here, then maybe we would get this one for free. But generally, you do have to build the outposts everywhere. Plus, if you build the outpost, then you get automatic defenses there, which you can upgrade further. There is a limit to the number of star bases you can build. Now, bear in mind, there is a difference between star bases and outposts. What we have in Mordgard right now is a starbase. It is upgraded, it's the station, and it will count towards our capacity. So you can see here your starbase capacity, 1 out of 3. If you build an outpost, that is like a low-level outpost, does not count towards your limit. If you upgrade that outpost to a station, then it does. So you can spam outposts everywhere. Doesn't cost you anything except for influence to initially build them. But if you actually want them upgraded to become more powerful defensive structures, or to allow them to build other ships and things like that, then yes, it will cost you. The Vikings. Oh, crap. That's annoying. There's a buzz with news the alien organisms discovered by the ISS Johanna the Bold some time ago. While far from intelligent, there's life out there. I also forgot to change the names of our people. The ships even, so it's still the ISS rather than like Vic. Wonder if there's a way of editing that. That's going to really bother me. Okay, so I can change our Empire name to Vikings. I don't think there's a way of changing the ship title, though. You can change the voice. No, I don't think you can. Alright, never mind. And you are still exploring. We have got 200. Let's get a new leader. And it was going to be you. Recruit you, put you on the ship. Alright, let's have you going down this way. We're just going to survey everything around us, just to see if there's anything worth expanding towards. We'll just survey something like that. Have that all set up in such a way. Anyway, I think that this is a fairly decent stopping off point for this episode, so thank you everyone for watching. I will probably transition this series into a stream at some point, possibly after 2 or 3 episodes. Just the embargo is not up yet. I am recording this before the embargo goes up, just so that you guys have an introduction to Stellaris, so you can kind of see what's changed, how it functions, and so I have an opportunity to explain some of the differences while I'm doing the multiplayer. Later on, I will be doing a single player, where I will be happy to take chat questions and things like that. And I probably will during the stream, it's just I'll have to type them, because I'll be talking to Roach and Ben. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this. Super hyped about what Stellaris has got going in the future. Apocalypse looks really good from the changes. Like, I cannot wait to see how this all changes warfare, because I think it's going to be mostly inter-system interaction warfare, things like that. That's going to be the biggest change. I'm kind of curious to see if diplomacy has changed at all. I'm not entirely sure about that one. But yeah, so far, looking good. So thank you everyone for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.